Everyone is trying to come up with a new trend that will hopefully catch on and make whoever started it famous. Sometimes these trends are just extremely strange or just complete fails. From flowers in the beard to fidget spinners in the bra, here are worst trends ever. But first, we'd like to thank the Smith family for leaving us this comment on our most essential equipment in the zombie apocalypse video. You commented first, so we'll give you a shout out. Let us know that you're still watching. And also, we'd like to thank Rita for leaving us this comment on how to modify a truck into a zombie apocalypse car. Great idea! Let us know in the comment section which trend you think is the weirdest, and maybe we'll feature you in an upcoming video. Number 16. The Hipster Beard. Guys with beards normally want to display how masculine they are with a full beard, but we'd have to say that any masculinity you have automatically gets cancelled out if you do this. This trend has led to quite a few creative photos, to say the least. This particular movement gained popularity on Tumblr in 2014, and it's not just enough having a beard nowadays, but if you truly want to stand out, you gotta put colorful flowers in there. Check out this guy. He has enough flowers in his beard to make you do a double take. This guy definitely doesn't buy bouquets for his girlfriend, they just go directly in his beard and considers it to be money well spent. Either that's the case, or he's been stranded on a tropical flower island for the past 6 months, and the seeds have been growing from his beard. Number 15. Donutting. No, we're not talking about spinning around in the parking lot with your car. This is Japanese donuting, where saline gets pumped into your forehead, then pressed in the middle with your thumb, creating a shocking look. It just seems like people will do whatever it takes to be trending. The saline creates a reservoir against your skull, building pressure against your head. No, this isn't a Dunkin' Donuts commercial, but it's an interesting look for a party. A lot of people in Japan are willing to try this, however. Luckily, it's temporary, but if not done correctly, it can cause infections. This trend goes back in history and originates in China. Foot binding is a painful process of wearing extremely tight shoes at a young age to prevent any further growth. The Chinese most commonly practiced this, and it wasn't until the 1900s when it began to lose popularity. Women in the country found it to be the only way to keep their feet from becoming too large. Some cases are just mind-boggling when the size of the shoe is only 3 inches. In severe cases, women would lose complete circulation to their toes and they would have to be amputated. Not to mention all the falls that would take place trying to walk like that. Don't judge though, wearing high heels in our culture is just as ridiculous. Here in this photo, we see the difference between normal and bound feet. Number 13. Golden cars. This trend is quite popular among the rich people of the Middle East, especially while they're visiting a Western nation. To show everyone how much oil money they got, many of them were painting their cars exotic gold shiny colors. Many sightings of wealthy cars with Arab license plates have been seen in London on cars that are painted gold like we see here. They normally tend to do this in countries outside of their home country where it might be considered arrogant or immoral and they might get stoned. Sometimes these cars are even left behind and they're brought only to be used for a short period of time while they're visiting a new country. We suppose it would impress some of the ladies, but they gotta be compensating for something, right? Number 12. Tebowing. Tebow mania struck America while he was playing for the Broncos a few years ago. He may have not been the best quarterback in the history of the NFL, but he certainly helped the Broncos make it to the playoffs, with many games ending in dramatic fashion. Tim Tebow was a pretty religious guy who normally knelt down on a knee and prayed after a touchdown. People started to copy him, and soon, Tebowing caught on. The definition of Tebowing was to get on one knee and to start praying while everyone else was doing something different. Eventually, when the Broncos were blown out by the Patriots in the playoffs, Tebowing wasn't quite as cool anymore. Number 11. Planking. If you saw someone lying down face first on the floor in a random place, you probably feel as though this person might have some issues. Planking was a harmless fad, kind of like Tebowing. People would look for the most bizarre place to plank and have a friend take a photo of it. It became like a competition to see who could get the craziest photos of themselves planking in the strangest and sometimes even dangerous places. People were often spotted planking on escalators, trees, forklifts, and all kinds of crazy places. Number 10. Limb lengthening surgery. Wish you were a little bit taller so you could one day be a baller? This leg chiseling bone grinding surgery modification can do that for you. This strange, expensive body modification has become a fad in parts of Asia, just to make people about 3 to 4 inches taller. In some extreme cases, some people can grow as tall as a foot. So what's so outrageous about this? Possibly the procedure. Doctors break the legs repeatedly, and each time the leg is broken, they stretch it until the bone heals. This will then fill up the space with new bone that replaces it. The excruciating pain can leave some people paralyzed if it doesn't go well. Is it worth the risk? Number 9. Snail slime beauty trend. The Japanese really know how to create some strange fads. Most of the time, it might have something to do with beauty. The Japanese have started something that involves snails and then moving around your face. They believe that the mucus has rejuvenating effects. They also believe that it can destroy acne by exfoliating dead cells. Get out of here. Number 8. Nightingale Treatment. Another bizarre trend that seems to be for the rich and famous includes nightingale droppings, which are then rubbed onto people's faces. Even A-list celebrities are said to have done this, and it's just becoming a strange trend you could probably afford to avoid. It costs about $250 to have bird poo smeared on your face, but hey, if you got your own bird, you could probably do this for free. The birds are fed an organic diet of berries and seeds, so it's gotta be healthy, right? This is also known as the geisha facial because it turns the face white, like a geisha. Number 7. Japanese bubble jumper. Do you ever feel like you just need your bubble of space and you don't want anyone to pop it? Well, here, you can try to burst someone's bubble by hitting them hard enough. Extreme competitors can feel what it's like as they compete in this type of duel wearing these strange items. Bubble jumper is basically a fight that takes place when people are wrapped around in an air-filled bubble. They wear stilts and try to knock each other over like sumo wrestlers. You might want to try this on some grass first, or you could be dealing with some serious bruises afterwards. Number 6. Armpit hair trend. Please, for the love of God, someone please show these ladies how to use a razor. For whatever reason, feminism is linked to unsightly body hair, and somehow it turned into a political statement. It's just good hygiene, people. We do suppose that people might not want armpit hair in their sandwiches, so maybe they'll stop asking you to make them. But this isn't the way to go about getting equal rights. If it wasn't already unsightly enough, some people have gone about dyeing their armpit hair strange colors to attract more attention to their unsightly body hair. It just seems like it's crossing the line. At least it makes it easier to determine who's a feminist or not. Number 5. Face masks. If you ever head to the beach someday in China, don't be too startled if you see someone wearing one of these. While people in the US usually go to the beach in order to get a tan, people in China try to avoid the sun as much as possible. Since pale skin is often sought after in Asian countries, something called a face-kini is a relatively new tradition that keeps people from catching too many rays. The face-kini has also been reported as something that will protect them from pesky jellyfish stings. The inventor Zhang Shifan reported that he never could have imagined its popularity. Number 4. Mexican pointy boots. There's a strange trend going on south of the border, which involves very long pointy boots. Some of these boots can be made with toes up to 5 feet long. They dance to a Mexican club-type music called tribal with the boots on. The type of music apparently sounded to be more Aztec. The trend began in a small Mexican city called Matehuala in 2009. The trend has unfortunately spread to the US from migrants to places like Dallas, Tennessee, and Oklahoma. Some very intense dance battles go down, which almost seems like the Mexican version of You Got Served. Number 3. Elf ears. What if there was a trend going around that would result in you looking like your most favorite elf character from Lord of the Rings? Or your ears at least. While gauging seems to be somewhat popular, there are quite a few options people have when it comes to modifying their ears. People can now shape the cartilage in their ears to make them look more like mythical fairy creatures. This is more of a Jurassic modification, and infections are common if not properly cleaned. The skin is removed from the ears, and the cartilage is pinched, then sutured together. Number 2. Pokemon Go. In 2016, Pokemon seemingly made a huge comeback when people were walking around aimlessly on their phones trying to catch imaginary creatures to add to their collections. People were caught trespassing onto private property to find their Pokemon for this new mobile game. While Pokemon Go and driving already seems dangerous enough, adding alcohol to the mix seems downright fatal. Cops were having to deal with more and more idiots who were guilty of doing this. In Verona, Wisconsin, a man named Benjamin Shop struck a pole while failing to pay attention to a street curbing while drinking and Pokemon Going at 2:35 in the morning. And number 1. Fidget Spinners. Another recent trend, fidget spinners are taking over YouTube right now and may make people wonder why. What makes them so great for kids is that their parents have no idea why anyone likes these. Some people rave it as a miracle device that can help soothe people with troubled past and have post-traumatic stress syndrome, autism, or even ADHD. They've been banned from school, and parents have reported their kids injuring themselves with them. It goes a little bit too far when eBay started offering fidget spinner bras for $17.99. Maybe people who are really into fidget spinners might find these to be attractive? Imagine these aren't just piercings sticking through a shirt either.